No pixels. If I move it away, I wonder if it's the lighting. Oh, wait.
No, it's more movement than anything else. Annie.
I feel slightly silly doing that.
I know. The fun. So I took. I sent you the Kyvio video we made. Finally, man, it took a long time to render and do all that. But I was looking at the BGN page again just this morning.
Okay.
It's a good looking
By the way,
page.
welcome to Double Funnel TV.
Welcome to Double Funnel TV. We're live.
We are.
We're live.
And today I actually, happy to still talk about BGN. I'm going to go do a review of an Appsumo application.
Awesome. Which one?
Well, let me come over here and share my screen first.
Good idea. That way
I'm
I can
thinking one
comment on what you're talking
UTM
about.
codes.
On what?
UTM codes. I know, right? You're like, what?
What you talking about?
What is she talking about, Willis? So that's actually clicked.com. I might still go look at that one later for myself. I was about to panic, like, oh my God, is it still here? UTMIO. Because one of the things that when we were going back and I was looking at the tracking for Business Growth Network and even Warfare Marketing over the last year, and we're sitting there in the digital marketer office and we're doing our end of year review, and they're like, how many people came from LinkedIn and how many people came from YouTube and how many people came from Facebook or Google ads or Facebook ads, and pretty much the entire room except one guy was like, I don't know. I think one guy told me he came from this YouTube video, and one person told me here, and I was at a networking meeting, and I know 4 of those guys, but I have no idea if Facebook contributed. And UTM codes help you know where people came from.
Nice.
So if we're going to be doing a lot of campaigns, obviously there's tracking with affiliate codes, which is nice too, but it's nice to be able to track where things came from past that, right?
Right.
One of the companies that does that, and let's see if I can actually pull it up, is Wicked Reports. And I remember it from 4 years ago, because a client insisted I use UTM codes and Wicked Reports. But just to give an idea of how much it costs to track, and give you an example, you can track lifetime value of a client. You can track the cost to acquire more precisely and where from. But this is where you get started. This is the basic price. And that's only for 3 months.
Wow.
And then it moves to $200 a month, assuming you're under $1 million in annual revenue. And it only moves up as you get a more comprehensive package.
As you do more stuff.
As you start talking shopping carts and more advanced, and you make more money, it costs more. So the concept of having a lifetime value on Appsumo was really caught my attention.
Absolutely.
The basics of
Let's see, $49, $1,750. One of those is less.
Is only 3 months.
I know. I know. Yeah, I didn't quite get there yet. I was still letting the numbers sink in. Holy cow.
Yeah, and this is lifetime. This isn't 1 year.
Wow.
Their normal pricing is going to be $149 a month. Boy, that's a brand. Am I getting... All right, they told us there was going to be... Of course, I read ahead. It was going to be linked to the team plan. I wonder if I... There we go. So it's going to be the team brand, which is $37 per month. Now, I don't know that it's going to be able to track lifetime value and that sort, But when tied to active campaign, let's see, I haven't looked at their pricing in a while.
Nice.
Active campaign at the professional level, you get attribution at $129, well, a month paid yearly, but still a lot less than the other one, and you get more stuff. So this is the one I'm going to review. So
Awesome.
while I'm buying, what were you talking about with Business Growth Network page?
Oh, I just really, so it's interesting. Another client and I were talking yesterday. I mean, it was a day of nonstop calls, which was awesome. But looking at an event that they have coming up and looking at their landing page and whatever, and the biggest thing that hit me is, you know, as we look at the 12 steps of, you know, a foolproof sales letter, or, you know, making sure that we answer all those things. The first thing that hit me is what makes you uniquely qualified to even talk about this issue. And I know that that sounds, it seems like that should be a minor thing, but it was the first thing that hit me. It's like, yeah, I want all the other stuff that's on here. That's really awesome. But what makes you uniquely qualified to be able to solve this for me? And if you don't have that, you know, it's the automatic shutdown. Who doesn't, you know, I mean, it's kind of like saying, I don't know about you, but I've noticed on LinkedIn lately, every time you agree to a friend request or a contact request, especially on LinkedIn as of late, it has been within a matter of minutes of accepting them that they're selling you. I mean, I know that the thing we're not supposed to do is sell somebody right out of the block, so I'm not selling you, but here, just look at this offer. You know what I'm saying? It's like their verbiage says I'm not selling you, but they're, you know, it's click here because, right, there's no relationship building at all. And so
they're working in mass, hoping
exactly
something gets picked up.
Exactly. All of a sudden they're playing a tonnage strategy and doing whatever. And that's actually the reason I accept some of them, is to see how they come back, you know, and, you know, to see what their process is. I do a lot of
Testing.
trying to see what other people do to see what I like, what I don't like, because if I don't like it or like it, chances are somebody else doesn't like it or likes it, right? And so one of the opening question, would you like to have $1 million in extra revenue in 2019? No, not really. You know, I mean, what a stupid question. I mean, I know that the question is designed to get you to say, well, of course I would. And so a lot of times I send messages back that said, of course I would. Yeah, just hand it over. And they're like, oh, no, there's a program or a course or a this or a that. But what I'm trying to get them to understand is that's a premature ask. You haven't created enough relationship to have the right to make that ask.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's too soon.
Ooh, I got a confirmation code. Fancy.
Wow, look at all this.
I like easy. So far, signing up has been easy. This makes me happy.
So it's just, it was intriguing because, you know, one of the questions, so, I mean, that was the first thing that clicked in my head when I was looking at this landing page. And the second thing, the first thing that has to be answered, or the first question or objection typically is, you don't understand my problem. The second one is, how do I know you're qualified? Isn't it interesting? That's the second thing on the checklist.
Oh, do you know, speaking of that qualified question, I had one that I did the same thing you're talking about too. And he wanted to build my agency to this empire, right? He's an agency coach.
Yeah.
And his last job before agency coach was working at the Apple store on his LinkedIn. And his reply to that was like, oh, well, I built an agency and I sold it. And under, our contract, I had a non-disclosure agreement. I was like, you have a non-disclosure for the business operations, not the fact that you built the agency. I've never seen that in a non-disclosure. You liar,
Yeah.
pants on fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing that again, just you become uniquely aware of, right? Of what makes you qualified to do what you're working to do. I mean, obviously, when we're doing digital marketing here, you actually do this. I mean, you're showing everybody on a daily basis that you navigate these platforms and we put these things together. And not only do we talk about Kyvio and Active Campaign and whatever tool we might be using, that we actually use those same tools. It's a novel concept.
It got complicated.
What happened?
Oh, that's searching. Okay, so I was going to try to create a link. So one of the things that I kind of liked about this is it, and I haven't gone through and tested the linking it to my domain. I can't remember if I have the stack to do that or not. But you can create a link that can track. So I took the Appsumo referral link.
Right.
I have no template. I'm just going to campaign Appsumo medium review.
Right.
Source, I guess that's Appsumo again. Term, UTM. Content. You can make it really complicated. It doesn't have to. Oh, no. So if you click off the square box, all your work goes away. That's no fun. I'll have to remember that. So I think I can save this, though, eventually as a template for it.
Doesn't say copy and save or click and save or copy and save at
Copy
the bottom?
And save. But I'm saying is like while you're working on it, if you accidentally click on the gray spot over here, you lose everything. Source, I'm just going to do review again. Or wait, no, that was Appsumo. The idea, and this is why I'm glad they have templates, is because you can, the idea is to keep very consistent nomenclature, like that your campaigns, like this is all Appsumo stuff. I could even put actually double funnel TV here. That's actually probably more accurate. A review Appsumo term, UTM codes, not UMM, content, reviews, notes, shortener, and yes, I want to shorten. I'd like to do a branded domain, but I'm not there yet. I've not set that up, so we'll do one of their shorteners.
Okay.
Shorten. So now it spits out this itty bitty link, and I'm actually going to send it to you. Let me go over to Facebook and ask you to click on it. You don't have to buy or anything fancy like that.
No
Just
problem.
click on it because in general, the idea is that you can track whenever the link has even been clicked. So even if I put it up here in mine, it takes me over here to the Appsumo, and in theory, you would be able to come back here and even directly save it to Facebook, so I could easily take it over here to Twitter. Just did a, helps if I actually log into Twitter. Just did a view of a new
That's interesting.
Appsumo deal, lifetime deal for UTM tracking. So, oops, so far so good. Log in and tweet it. What? Okay, so that didn't work. You didn't supply your tweet. So after all that writing, I didn't even pick it up. Now I'm actually logged in. Lifetime deal for UTM tracking. And link shortener. Shortener. There you go. So that works. I'm assuming straight to Facebook. Same thing. I don't want to share to my timeline though. I don't see the ability to save. Oh, I can create a. Oh man.
One custom domain per code. Facebook sharing, Twitter sharing, Bitly shortener, UTM shortener.
Not a bad list, right?
Yeah.
Medium. What is the medium? Banner ad review. Source, Appsumo. Term, and this, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Content, notes, none of that. Save. So I can't save after I've done it, but I can create one here, and now I could come back. Oop, that's create one. Not the gray button. So now I've done it over here instead. Now in the future, I can just click Appsumo review, and it should yeah, there we go, automatically add everything.
Nice.
And if I add, oops, and I can double it up too. So let's say it was an Appsumo review, and then I could actually separate my terms by Twitter. So I could make a Twitter template, an Appsumo review template, and pump out codes really quick in theory. And here we go. Oops. So it's already showing. So it was created by me. You have unlimited team members, which I think is cool. So I don't know where that's at. Links, templates, close, invite users. I don't know if that invites you to buy. Showing.com. I think that invites you to use mine, so then you could use it as well. And track your progress. So if you were, let's say, inviting people to these Business Growth Network workshops, you're using your affiliate link, but that's a really long link and it's got some weirdness to it, right? It's long as well.
Right.
You could use this to shorten it to make it look like a shortened version of Business Growth Network. And then it would not only track, like your affiliate link would already be included, they'd get the right link, you get paid, all that sort of thing, right? But then you could start seeing how different campaigns work. So like you were talking about, and we've discussed before, leveraging LinkedIn, whether it's Meet Leonard or directly, you could send out messages to 100 contacts with a certain, kind of message script or call to action.
Right.
Use one of these UTM links so that you know which one it is, and then mix it up for the next 100 and see which one performed better. Because the affiliate one is only going to tell you how many people purchased, and it's not going to tell you off what message. This one would tell you exactly which message got how many clicks.
That's interesting.
And then if you combine that with some Google Analytics and some goal tracking, then it would get super fun because you would know who actually purchased. And it's without spending $1,750 for 3 months and $200 a month thereafter.
So what it sent me is UTM Builder. You've been invited to join Warfare Marketing Team on UTM.io.
So you could come join and make you could do what I just did. Even use the same ones. Or make one, for Scott Schilling Business Growth Network workshop. Oops, I scrolled. Okay, here's templates. So here's where I guess I could just make templates. Create template. Is this how many times it's been used? Tweet, Twitter. Like, I don't need that one. I don't know what this gray button is. Are you sure you want to delete? Confirm. Confirm. I do like that they have some examples to show you how to use it. The important part is to come up with your own nomenclature and keep it consistent. Like, I almost wish there was a place to choose. Like, I like how they have a template. It
Yeah.
would be cool to have something that said, here's all the different type of campaigns, so that
Right.
you're only choosing from that list to start with, that you could add to that list to create your templates. So I guess it kind of has it here. If I can, I'll pull it out a little bit. So here is all the campaign names, all the media names, all the source names, term names, contents. I guess you could keep track that way. And can you click on to sort? Oh, you can. You can sort by each one. Tells you who created it. So if you wanted to sort, I can sort by who created it. I can export them to CSV. Project. Create project. Not sure what a project is yet. The word that I was really wanting, account. I'm here. I'm trying to figure out how to, let's go ahead and download the Chrome extension, although I should probably open this up in Chrome. Is that, oh. So let me try logging in, and let me go over here. I will share my Chrome screen instead.
Yeah, it was showing it as a Chrome extension for me. I just, not playing with it at the moment, obviously, to be over here, but interesting.
Now, as someone who doesn't really play in my field, is that as a salesperson useful?
Well, as an example, this other product and project we've been talking about this morning, I saw that there were 473 impressions and 5 click-throughs. So any information, so you get a 1% click-through going, based on that ad that we ran on travel. And so in one day, right? So any of that kind of analytics, I think, is
and
important.
That was with your proximity marketing, right?
Right.
So you could even measure it by day.
Exactly.
Those are easy to update.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it automatically updates. So yeah, it's just a matter of writing down. That's what it is for the first 24 hours. If you look at it. Or
like you were talking about running it at like DFW Airport.
Right.
Like you could test it at DFW Airport versus, I don't know,
exactly.
San Diego.
Exactly. You can test that location versus another location. I think it does two things. Again, that's part of why I was looking back at the sales letter development, or fundamentals, is the only we know digital marketing works. We know digital marketing sells a lot of products, or develops a brand or does whatever you really want it to do, right? But without metrics, how do you know?
You don't. Right?
And so I now have something I can judge off of because I now have those numbers. Okay, I like the idea of their impressions. Here's the thing we know about selling is 60% of all sales happen in the 5th exposure or after. So the fact that more people didn't click through or, it's not like, in other words, just because you got a click through doesn't mean you're going to get a sale the first time. Because again, statistically, 60% of all sales come in the 5th exposure or after. So if this is their first exposure, that's not 5, duh. But the point is now you have you have more information to make better decisions. And quite frankly, that's all selling ever is having enough quality information to make a quality buying decision.
Sorry.
What'd you do?
Nothing. I was looking up how to do a custom domain. And you have to, well, one, you have to buy the shortened domain, which is fine. I can go to A2 Hosting, which is where I buy all my domains, and I can buy some shortened. So they gave the example, here's businessinsider.com uses read.bi. That's their shortened domain. But to set it up, you have to message or email UTMIO, and they'll walk you through it. Now, I'm guessing there is some kind of CNAME mapping, which probably means nothing to you.
No, it means I know. What are you talking about? I might be in sales, but I do know that.
That's right. You've done some CNAME mapping to Kyvio, haven't you?
Yep. And with U+1 and with a lot of them. So.
But yeah, it doesn't even walk you through how to do it here. You have to email them, so I can't even show everyone how to do it. That's no fun. How do I create a new how do I rename a project? I'm sorry, continue with what you were talking about.
Well, I think that one of the things we talk about is, I think why this stuff becomes so valuable is it becomes metrics to make decisions off of. You can see how many people come to sites. You can see where they come from. You can see, you've got people. One of my friends teaches social media this way. Twitter is like you're in a really noisy bar. You really don't want to talk to anybody, but you just kind of say, hey, because you can't hear their response anyway.
Okay.
Facebook is like a backyard barbecue with family. You've got a little more time. You've got a little closer relationship, and you're kind of drinking a beer and eating ribs. And he said LinkedIn, the way he teaches it is LinkedIn is you've just walked into a high rise, you're going up the elevator, and people may or may not talk to you because you're all uncomfortably pressed together inside an elevator.
Right.
That's the way he describes social media when he teaches it. And to a certain extent, it's kind of true. And then we tend to, and there's no, personally, we tend to gravitate towards either the style that makes us comfortable, or quite frankly, the age group and demographic that makes us comfortable. So as an example, there are far more millennials on Twitter than there are boomers. But on LinkedIn, there are far more boomers than there are millennials.
And I'll tell you what, right now on Twitter, because it's really easy for me to use something like Content Studio to generate content, I actually can't wait to try this UTM thing out on it, because I don't think Twitter is good for much of anything anymore. Unless you're selling like pot-based products or some XXX, porn industry, journalism, maybe some sports events. Unless you're tying it to an event or, a shady industry, I think Twitter is useless. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, again, and that's the point, no matter where you are. But again, one of the things that he suggests when he talks about social media is you don't have to like the vehicle. You just have to be on the vehicle. So it doesn't matter whether you're a boomer, you need to probably tweet. It doesn't matter if you're a millennial, you probably need to be on LinkedIn. It's kind of you probably kind of need to have at least a business page on Facebook. You might not have a personal page, but you might have the other. So the point is that, and then there are people that will take that down the next line to Instagram, and then take it down to Pinterest, and take it down to whatever. The point is, how, if there's any tool that allows you to verify and validate your monetization off of that vehicle, that would be helpful. Spend money where you're making money. Don't spend money where you're not making money. Spend time and energy where you're making money. Don't spend time and energy where you're not making money.
Exactly.
Novel
now, it's
concept.
Interesting. Okay, I think. Okay, so account is a paid account versus a free account, so account over here, Warfare Marketing is my Appsumo lifetime plan. Business Growth Network, that automatically is a free one. I'm almost like, now I want to delete it now that I figured out how that works, but I can't figure out how to delete it. I have a create account, but I don't have a manage account. I don't have any ability to delete this one now that I can see. Okay, so project is how you separate your team. So warfare marketing is really what I want to be working in. And then my project, can I rename them?
Your project would be Business Growth
The different
Network,
brands, yeah.
right?
Yes.
U+1 travel,
So
whatever.
yeah, exactly. So this would be actually warfare marketing, base characters. Okay. Private or public? So that's private. This is public. Is it add users? Save project? Okay, so that one's now mine. And then if I, clicking buttons. No, I did that on the wrong one. Did it skip over? Or did I just not? Okay, now we're on the right one. This one I want to rename, warfare marketing. I'm gonna leave it private for now. You can archive projects. You're only allowed 10 with the Appsumo code, but that's more than fine unless you are just
doing a ton.
Well, if you have clients, that's where, and you're using UTM codes for them. So basically, let's say if I was an agency and I want to track my agency warfare marketing, I have space for 9 clients. And for every Appsumo code, you add 10. So that's not too shabby. So create another project. So I have multiple brands. Business Growth Network. Oopsie, now you pop up. Yay, save project.
All of a sudden I'm there?
All of a sudden you're there. So I can't figure out how to edit my accounts. That's a little bit of a pain. But I can edit my projects. I can change the name. Now I'm wondering my template, is that under, do the templates go by project? If I edit this, template name, campaign name. I'm wondering if all templates go with all projects. And then, so team and client management panel, Bitly shortener, so you can use it with your Bitly account, UTM shortener, 10 projects, so up to 10 like clients or teams, unlimited team members, which is super cool. That's usually where people limit you at. Click tracking on UTM shortened links. So that means if you use their shortener, it'll inside the program track how many clicks. Otherwise, you're going to need like Google Analytics or some other kind of dashboard. Team link dashboard, 20 team syncing templates with 1 custom domain per code. 20 team syncing. So only, I mean, that's probably more than enough unless you're running a lot. So if I wanted one for warfare marketing, one for business growth network, I would need 2 codes. So not too shabby. Oddly enough, only 1 review so far. Lots of questions.
What kind of questions?
This one was saying they're not purchasing LTDs without a specific mapping to a plan, but they did map to an existing plan. It's their team plan. Because some of the Appsumo deals, like they get a special Appsumo deal that's like in between 2 plans, and then if they add an update, then Appsumo people don't get it, and people get all angry. So this one is mapping it, everything the team people get in the future, you get in the future. How is this different than the Google Analytics URL builder? It's actually not a bad one. The first big difference is the dashboard where you can manage your templates with your team. That's just so that you don't end up with a bunch of random, remember I was saying, making sure these templates that you use all the general same campaign names, same medium names, same source names, same term names, content names, all that. When you build each one individually, then your data just gets messy. Like, again, like you'd want a completely different campaign name if you were just doing U+1 stuff. Ones that are associated with double funnel TV versus my warfare marketing, I went separate. So my campaign name might be warfare marketing. It could be holidays, something of that nature. My medium would be email marketing. Just different source. That could be, I typically do like Facebook or Twitter or something. There could be email in that sentence, or broadcast versus automation. However you're going to break it up, making sure it's the same. That way when you look across your data, you can say emails overall, email performs significantly better than Facebook, Twitter, and just social media combined, right? So your medium for that could be social media and then Facebook. Our roadmap includes cool things like reporting, Google Analytics integration. That would be awesome. Meta description editing. How does this compare to link shortener tool? Thanks for reaching out. We do not offer. So to some degree, like if you're tracking, like if I pull up, let me see if I can log into Bitly. Have you ever used Bitly?
Not really. I mean, I have, but not for anything specifically, more just to shorten the URL than anything else.
Like I don't have a paid account, but like right here, I can say there was 18 total clicks from December 10 to January 9. Or actually, that's a longer one. September, from October 23 to now, there's been 18 clicks on that specific one. But I mean, obviously you can do a little bit more with a paid account, but now we're going back to lifetime deal versus paid account.
Right.
And then that's still not being, I can't tie that back into Google Analytics to create any goals to track lifetime value or cost or anything like that. Like this can be used on all your advertising campaigns. So this is going to be a big one, I know, for me for 2019, to get out of just saying, oh, that this campaign generally worked, to saying, no, this is specifically what worked in this campaign, and this is what specifically did not work. Let's move on.
Right. Well, again, I mean, I think that it's anytime you gain information that gives you a better guide on what's going on. Because it's the exact same thing when people make a presentation, whether it be face-to-face or from stage, and they think their presentation is awesome when in fact they say something during that presentation that shuts down the potential buyer as opposed to enticing the potential buyer. But they keep on giving the same thing over and over and over again. They can't figure out why it doesn't work, right? Anytime you can get some understanding of what's working, what doesn't. That's why I keep on tweaking our travel club and our travel passports page, because I keep on looking at it and thinking about it differently. And it's not like they're major changes. Holistically, they're pretty much the same. But there might be a word here, might be a change here, might be a repositioning, things like that. That's why I think the BGN workshop page, as we changed the kind of the value of the workshop thing, was really important yesterday, because I think it created a much stronger page. And even when I shared it with Sean after the fact, and he went, "Oh, wow." you're right. I didn't realize we were delivering that much value. When I said we put in, the value is $8,036 by adding up all the components, and he went, oh man, you're right. Man, does that make a difference? So any and all of this, while this is more your end of it, a little more of the geek side of it, there's nothing wrong with having it's actually tremendously valuable to have the data that says this works or doesn't work, or
right,
it's getting traction or it's not getting traction.
Yep. So this is interesting. So a little more feedback on one. I guess they originally started with no custom domain, and they've since added that. So that's cool. But somebody asked about the shortener. They did add that. And what was the one before that? That was another good question.
Yeah.
What did say that was? Oh, here it goes. This one. We have plans to create some cool reports for all your plans that will enable them to do attribution, dark social tracking, which is very difficult, profile enrichment, anonymous user identification, and conversion tracking. They actually do have a roadmap here, with their big one being Google Analytics, because once you tie it in Google Analytics, the amount of information is just wow. The part that's hard about Google Analytics is setting it up properly the first time to give you all that information. So you can go through and see a lot of it. Some of this stuff is like really small stuff. Got feedback and ideas over here. Link validation. A/B split testing, which is nice, is done inside Kyvio. So if you're talking about making changes on your page, if you were going to make a big change, let's say you were getting 100 people a day, right? At that point, you can actually start doing some good testing. You could split test a dark background versus a light background. You could start split testing your headlines, your button colors, everything starts to open up, right? This helps, but inside Kyvio, you can do that already. And I think any of the funnel builders, the good ones anyway. So they have a roadmap. Sunburst charts. Wow. How people are moving through your project. I don't even know what that is. Login. Oh, okay. Login, homepage, view inbox, search run. I don't even know what this is, but it looks cool.
Well, I got to believe it's a visual representation of where they punch in and punch out of, how far they get down a page. It's almost like click tracking, mouse tracking. Further, what's it called?
Wow. It's following how people are moving through.
Yeah, exactly. What's their path through your website?
Wow. That's the UTM one. Wow. That's cool. I don't even know what it does or what kind of data you can get from it, but it's really cool.
A lot. Looks like a lot.
Do you think you as a salesperson, as a digital marketer, this is like gold? It's a no-brainer. I'll probably get two because I'll want one Bitly shortener for Business Growth Network and one Bitly shortener, or Bitly, one shortener for warfare marketing. But do you they're saying you're going to use it to track your stuff, but could you see yourself actually using it?
Well, I think this is where the value of teaming and having a digital marketer working with you. I'm smart enough to know if people aren't showing up to a page, that's not good. So if I now have that information, it helps me audit what we're putting out there, and it helps me give guidance on some of the changes. Will I get lost in the weeds doing this? It's it's probably too involved as a salesperson, but the information that comes from it can be pretty valuable. So again, if you really team up with your digital marketing expert and you're going to pursue the market together, in essence, right? That makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to, I mean, if you know something doesn't work, you can stop using it. Novel concept. If you know something works, you can do more of it. Novel concept, right? It's like what you said something very important earlier about A/B split testing. We haven't split test any of our Kyvio landing pages for U+1. We haven't done that because we haven't verified enough traffic to make that valuable. Well, I now have a new tool. I just told you we had 473 eyes on it yesterday. Wait a second, that's over 100. So now all of a sudden,
but
because
you said that was eyes, that was impressions of the ad, right?
That's right. You're right. So that's still not, that's impressions of the overall ad. That wasn't clicks to the site. So yes, we're still probably don't need to do A/B testing at this point. We might need to do A/B testing of the ad, but the, you know, my point is that we're gaining more information, and that's all you ever do, right? Is you gain and refine and gain and refine and gain and refine. So, I mean, it's kind of fascinating, actually.
You can get a domain extension that's .diet, .farm. Man, there's all sorts of stuff in here. FYI.
That is
Gal. Guru. You can have Scott.guru.
That'd be unique.
IO.
You know, so what's your, as a digital marketer, what's your feeling towards having a unique extension?
I mean, as a digital marketer, I have one. Warfare.
I know that. I know that,
and
but that's why I'm asking you the question.
Now, sometimes the two problems I find is people want to put a .com at the end when they email you, just out of
habit.
Pure, habit. But I feel like that's going to go away. Like .com, there's only so many words you can use that make sense, right? You start making up words. And it's nice to have a .com because, like I said, people expect it. Walmart.com, warfaremarketing.com. But you're just running out of words, and you can change it to .us, and you can add org and biz, but you're running out. Like, it was created and bought up in a time period when not every company, not every person, people have websites now, right? So you need more extensions, and they make sense. I'm a marketing company, warfare.marketing. I considered making a cruise, like a regular cruise vacation at one point in time, and getting the .cruise, which, by the way, super expensive.
Right.
So some of these are wickedly, wickedly expensive if you're trying to buy the premium. Like right here, it says pro. It's only $20. If I put the word marketing pro in front of it, now we're talking $50,000. Like, they're selling them. Right. They're not inexpensive, right? Let's see if I can just go ahead.
No, I've noticed that because I've looked at that a little bit too. That's why I was asking your thought, because there are times where it seems like it might be cool, might be useful, but it's almost like another piece of education you have to give your customers.
So now think about it in the UTM tracking. So if we're talking, you're buying a domain that's specifically having nothing to do with your main one. So you're not trying, this particular one that I would be purchasing I'm not trying to get any SEO out of it. No organic search engine optimization out of it. So in that regards, for search engine optimization, I want certain keywords in there, right? I want business, I want growth. I want network in it, right? So it behooves me to have a longer name. For the shortener, you're just trying to do something that if you crammed and
Totally.
you took all the consonants, if you took all the vowels out, it would kind of look like that. Just something recognizable, right? Like in Google is, I don't know, GOO.gle or something. But you recognize it immediately as a Google domain, even though it's a shortened version of it, right? Pros and cons, right? Like I the only other issue I've ever had with something that wasn't .com, .org is when you're typing it into certain companies as your email address. Kind of remember the issue you were having yesterday with Kyvio in your country name or your phone number or something? That some companies, namely AT&T Uverse, don't recognize anything but like the .co, .org. They did
Right.
not recognize my .marketing. But the more popular it gets, the more irrelevant it becomes.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And again, I'm a fan. I despise the way affiliate links look. You know, slash affiliate AF question mark REF equals 397482. It's like, holy crap. I mean, all I got to do is look at your domain and I know you're trying to sell me something, you know,
Right.
and it bugs me. I mean, it really does. So instead,
Oh,
I would much rather go with a redirect that kind of states, well, that's why we have saveontravelexpenses.com. What do? We save you on travel expenses. Save on my travel. Okay, we save on my travel. You know, it just is a better, at least you can now get there and take a look at some things, right?
yeah.
So I'm just not a fan of, and even though we haven't C-mapped U+1 on Kyvio yet, and we will, but because we haven't yet, we have u+1.kyvio.com/home-6.
Right.
You know, it's like, boy, what the hell's that?
Right.
You know, so I'd rather have saveontravelexpenses.com.
So I'm
I'd
trying to
rather have
find
you.
like an itty bitty one for BGN.
It's fun.
BGN.life.
It's funny. I was looking at that yesterday too.
BGN today, BGN work. Co maybe? The BGN.co, but not BGN. Dr. BGN.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I actually was looking through those yesterday, thinking the same thing.
Can you do just, oh, you can just do 2 letters.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, see, Google is considered a premium domain, $139. Fit, $1,000 just to buy it up. News, it's amazing. .co. I think that will be the fun part, just trying to find a little shortened version of what you have.
Exactly.
But overall, I like it. I'd buy
Ray
it.
likes bgn.live.
Yeah, I saw that one, but if it's a shortener, like the idea is you want it to be as simple and tiny as humanly possible, right? Like
Right.
think about if you're putting something like you're giving a speech, right? You're speaking on stage, you're training on stage, you're at a workshop, and you put the smallest thing humanly possible up there. Like I wouldn't want any I's, I wouldn't want any L's. They look too close together.
That's a
Like,
good
oh,
point.
is it a capital L or is it an I? Like or a capital I or an L. And I found like in Bitly, since capital letters past the slash are so important, whereas like .co is super simple.
Yeah.
Of course,
Very
that's
true.
not available.
Of course.
I'll have to find. Neither one of these is perfect for searching on. There's a lot of times I will search on GoDaddy because their search is easier, and then buy on A2 hosting. Although their prices are so nice. $2.99. That's where GoDaddy gets you, even though they have the worst hosting. Interesting. Well, let's go back over here. Project. We got Business Growth Network. We have Warfare Marketing. Nice. Templates. Create a template.
So you got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Do you give this app a thumb up or a thumb down?
For $49 for lifetime deal, assuming, they're going to bring in, let me take that back. Let me take out anything. If they don't build anything else, is it worth it? And I would say yes. If you're doing any kind of driving any paid traffic whatsoever, if you're spending any amount of time on LinkedIn or Facebook and you're sharing, if you're doing anything where it's actively marketing your business aside from going to network marketing meetings,
yep,
I think it's good because you can get the benefits of something like Bitly, like the paid version of Bitly, without having to pay for it. So what is upgrade for premium features? They don't tell you how much it costs. Oh, that's Bitly Enterprise. Why would I want Bitly? That's weird.
You have to upgrade all the way there.
From free
to enterprise. Nice.
Settings, options, resources, upgrade. That's kind of hilarious. I'm not going through all that. Either way, that just makes me think it's more expensive.
Yeah. It's going to be more than $49 once.
It's going to be more than $49, right? So in that regard, go ahead and get it. The cool thing is if you go over, and I don't have it set up on analytics.google. It'll get me there. When you go and set this up on Google Analytics, so let's say you've got Kyvio, right? Super, super, super duper, super simple goal tracking. I'm not even sure. Oh, this website's not even a business anymore. If you go into goal tracking and you create a basic goal, here is page number 1. If you go to this landing page with a sales page on it, that's your starter page, right? And you hit the thank you page, which you can only get there if you purchase, right? Assuming besides me or you working on it, right? You can start using those UTM tracking codes to see what's making you money.
Yep.
So you can go over here to the UTM and you can figure out immediately how many clicks you're getting if you're using just their UTM shortener.
Right.
If you can do a pretty link, I think that makes you look more professional. So, one for each company that you actually need a pretty shortener for. Don't complain like everyone's complaining that you don't get 10 customized domains. Understand that they've got a business to run too. If you want 10 custom domains for 10 clients, then go buy 10 codes. It said unlimited stacking. But in that, you can track all your clicks and all your goals in here. You can go through and you can track who landed on, if you're doing lead generation, same thing. That's why we have a thank you page. Everyone's like, what's a thank you page? It's for Google Analytics. It's for knowing, I could easily just send everyone to a general thank you page that said thank you, right? Besides the fact that it has no instructions, the bigger purpose of that is knowing exactly, using UTM codes and saying they went to this page and this was the goal page, the thank you page. And now I can start saying I spent $1,000 on Google Analytics and it precisely made me $900 or $1,100. And is it worth it or not? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So totally. For me, something of this nature, obviously you can create UTM codes without this thing, right? I could go right here and say UTM creation. There you go, tool. I could even so free. Here's the dev tool. There's the website URL. There's your campaign source, and you can just do all that, and it will pop it out for you. So right here, campaign source, Appsumo. Here's my link, already created for me. There's not an automatic link shortener. I mean, you can get that though on Bitly for free, but Bitly is not going to make your UTM code.
Right. So you're going to have to go through multiple steps,
Yep. See, now we're just getting into bigger steps. And then furthermore though, and this is where UTM.io does better, is the templates. Every single time you go here, you're going to be typing in whatever you think is cool or works at the moment. Whereas over here, you can start to have very consistent structures to your UTM so that when you do go back over here to your analytics, that when you go into your reporting, it's going to tell you exactly what it is you actually want to know. How many clicks that came to your home page, but how many clicks came from Facebook versus Twitter on the same campaign. Make sense?
Like it.
If you use it, it's worth it. If you're not paying attention, it's a waste of money. It's just another Appsumo code that you're not going to
utilize.
Just think about going live with our trading. That's true. Live could be cool in that way. I have to think about that one. That one's going to be fun. But the bigger one is, are you going to use it?
Yep.
Like, think about that. Like, is your team going to use it? It only becomes useful if everyone working on your project uses it.
Absolutely. For sure.
Super boring, fun stuff. But if y'all have a moment and this was helpful, please do subscribe to the channel. That would be super helpful. I'm going to start doing, when we do Appsumo reviews, going ahead and doing them on Double Funnel TV. And I think next week we're going to be doing an HVAC company.
Awesome.
Awesome, awesome. So
we'll have fun.
Have fun, everybody. Bye,
Again
guys.
tomorrow.
And I hope you had a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye, Scott.
Bye.